I am here in the lovely Foundation Room at the House of Blues with the talented, charismatic, gifted songwriter, singer, excellent all-around raconteur, Mike Cooley of the Drive-By Truckers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys, yeah.
I'm so excited. I just heard your sound check. They are playing tonight at the House of Blues, and it sounds fantastic. If you haven't heard yet, because it hasn't been out that long, the Drive-By Truckers have a new album out called English Oceans, just came out. And the thing that I was very excited to hear about is that you write half of this record.
Yeah, that's about half of it. I was a little bummed out the last cycle that I didn't come in with that many new songs. Mm-hmm. So I really tried to raise the bar this time.
And Patterson Hood, his co-frontman in the band, he didn't feel crowded by that. He was happy to have you contribute more.
It was good. We like it that way. Both of us do. We were able to sequence the record like we do our live show, which is back and forth between he and I. You know.
And also, first on this record too, you sing a song that Patterson wrote.
Yeah.
Which I think is so interesting. It's one of the better songs on the record too. It's called "Till He's Dead or Rises." What's so interesting about that song to me is that it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of awful and sad.
Yeah, it's fun to sing. It's fun to play. But normally, we've never done that. I think he's probably covered some of mine in solo shows. But normally, like, his voice is higher than mine. Usually, I couldn't sing his stuff, at least not the way it's written or not in the same key. And this one happened to work.
Right, happened to sit in a place in your voice.
It's kind of at the top of my range, so it makes me strain a little bit, which makes it sound a little more dramatic, I guess.
The thing that I love so much about you guys, and that has been consistent throughout your whole career, is that you write these great stories. You write these fantastic characters. You're real storytellers. And sometimes the stories are sort of big and maybe politically tinged, and sometimes they're very personal. And there's like a mix of both of those things on this record. Yeah. I mean, you've got Primer Coat, which is one of my favorite songs on the record.
Sisters marrying in the fall, and everything will be fine, 'cause Mama's planning the wedding, Daddy's planning on crying.
I feel like you guys usually write characters, so I'm assuming it's not about you.
No.
But perhaps you can relate to the guy in that song.
It became a little more autobiographical as it went along. I didn't realize until I was finished with it that I made the guy my age. And I was like, maybe it is.
And he's not super psyched necessarily about how things are going or where they're going.
Yeah. Who could be?
I wanted to get in a plug for your solo album as well, The Fool on Every Corner. I know you went out and did that, and that was trucker songs, but sort of in different arrangements.
Yeah, it was. It's completely, it's live. It's total solo acoustic. And I reworked all those songs for that to try to make it more interesting than just playing and singing the song as much as I could, so it wouldn't just be rhythm, guitar, and vocal. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing that work and finding new ways to play all the same songs.
There's a pretty girl out there said that you stay cool tonight. All I need from you is to come home, dear, by my side.
No, did you ever find yourself, even though you were purposefully on your own, looking around being like, where's everybody else?
Oh, yeah. It's that's one of the things I wanted to do with playing all those shows was to get over that fear of going out there by yourself. And I kind of did. I can almost do it now with the same confidence that I go out with the band.
And you let your country flag fly, a little Charlie Rich steeped out there as well, which was an interesting choice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't remember how that. I wanted to come up with something, a couple of covers to throw into the show, and I was listening to that record one night. Yeah, why not? I can do that.
When we get behind closed doors, and she lets her hair hang down.
I love that song. I did it in karaoke in Amsterdam once.
Oh my! And what had you been doing before karaoke started?
I was singing a Charlie Rich song in a karaoke place. So what do you?
We can connect the dots there on our own.
Yeah, it's not hard to do.
Now you all are famous, at least here in Boston, and I'm assuming you do this elsewhere, playing these epic shows. I feel like one time I saw you and you played for almost 4 hours.
It happens, yeah.
And so how do you keep that going after so many years?
Well, we don't so much. We try to make those kind of shows be like every now and then, because I think it's good to leave the audience wanting a little more sometimes.
But it does seem like that has always sort of been your way, and certainly the commitment is always there. And I wonder, is there something different that drives you at this point when you perform than when you started, to keep that energy level there?
I hope so. I sure hope there's something going on. I still enjoy it. I still love to tour and wake up in a different place every day and have a show to play.
So this lifestyle is all you could have done, probably.
It's probably, yeah. It was. And some people, it's not for everybody. There are people a lot more talented than I am that can't do this because they just can't stand the life.
Right. I don't know if you all know, but the Truckers worked on 2 fantastic records in the last 10 years. Scene of the Crime, which the Betty LaVette album,
Yeah.
which I think is so fantastic, and the Booker T record, Potato Hole, which brought Booker T back to us, basically.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about those projects, and do they help feed the band at all?
They
or is
did.
That completely separate?
Especially with Booker, I think. But both of them were a lot of fun. We had never been like a backup band before. I was never a session player, God knows. So it was fun. We had to kind of transform ourselves and learn how to work that way, and it was challenging. But the records, I'm really proud of both of them, and both of them turned out great. The Betty album was nominated for a Grammy. It didn't win. We lost to Eric Clapton.
Isn't that always the way?
It was nominated in Best Contemporary Blues, which I didn't think it was at all contemporary blues, but you know how categories go.
Right.
But anyway, it was great fun.
And it was beautiful. I mean, some of those covers that she did a Sinead O'Connor cover. She did Don Henley. She did like some really interesting things.
Yeah.
So did you guys help her pick those, or that was all her?
I think we all made some suggestions, but ultimately she picked those songs, and we all got a CD of the original versions, which meant nothing because they totally got deconstructed and reconstructed, every day in the studio.
And I feel like both of them, I mean, I've talked to her, and I feel like he would say this too, that those records were really pivotal in sort of getting them back out into the public eye in a way. And now they're both gigging all the time. I mean, it's not like Booker was in any trouble, but they're both out gigging all the time and playing, and I feel like their profiles were raised.
Yeah, Booker's done several, both of them have done several records since then, and we hope to do another one with Booker sometime, and maybe I'll write it together.
Oh, that sounds good. Now, are there other people, because you guys aren't exactly, you guys do your thing, you make your records, you go on tour, and those almost seem kind of like anomalies that you are working with other people. Are there other people other artists you would like to work with?
We've talked about how cool it would be to get Tom T. Hall out of retirement. We haven't
Talk
worked
about
with
story songs.
Oh God, yeah, he's the greatest. He's just the greatest. Now, we're big fans, but I don't know if he really does. I know he writes some books. I know he's written some children's books.
Yeah, so smart, so funny.
Yeah.
And, I mean, legendary in his lane. I mean, really,
yeah.
I can see, that would be great. Make that happen.
Yeah, I'd like to do one with somebody who's known as kind of a country artist, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and I would love to see you guys get out in front of the Rolling Stones on one of those tours. I think that'd be a great audience for you.
Yeah, I'd do it.
All right, Mick, Keith, if you're watching, because I'm sure you are, drive by Truckers for the next tour. Make it happen. But thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic show tonight, and
Thanks.
I'm sure we'll see you back in Boston again.
Okay.
Catch Dirty Water TV Saturday and Sunday night at 11:30 on Nessun, because the party never stops on Dirty Water TV.